This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special one-off show. If you need to be inspired in life, you need to listen to the next 30 minutes. We've got a very, very special guest on who epitomizes the words everyday runner, true hero. And we're going to be talking about, not me, you, Adele. You're thinking, oh, he's talking about himself again. No, it's you. It is you. So this is a special one-off because basically I'm sat at home eating chocolate and Wilco's not drinking coffee and Adele's out running. So we are pre-recording this now so you can listen to this on the 29th so we can have a Friday off, basically. And we wanted to get Adele on because she has got the most tremendous story. And the reason is I sit there and I see everything on the Facebook group. And if you're not part of the Facebook group, get involved because you get to meet amazing people like Adele. And I'm not joking. I was genuinely blown away by her efforts because she's just completed the Tokyo Marathon. It is one of the best stories I've seen this year in terms of an everyday runner achieving something amazing. She inspired so many people in the 40 Runs Running Club and community. It's just amazing. Wilco, am I telling lies? Or
Absolutely not, mate. Absolute star. Absolutely. She's been fantastic. Everybody. She's been the talk of the club. Talk of the club the last 2 weeks.
Yes, 100%.
And she's been on a tour. It seems to be of every satellite group, and it's the most shown medal.
Yeah,
in the history of athletics.
Yeah, why not?
I've seen it. Well. I've touched it. I've seen it.
Oh,
I've had it in my hands.
Lucky devil. Adele, how are you feeling?
Yeah,
coming onto the show.
I feel good. I feel honoured to be here.
Honoured? It's our honour. What are you talking about? Have you ever seen the show live?
I have, yeah.
Have you ever listened to a pre-record?
No, I don't think I have.
There you go. So these are short and condensed shows. It's only half hour you've got to put up with us for. And what I thought would be cool, if it's okay with you, is to basically go from the sort of coming back from Tokyo and go all the way back to the start of the journey, if that's all right with you, and we work them through. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
We may drop in the lightning round, pre-warn everybody that could be coming your way next week if we
remember.
If we remember and if we get time. Because sometimes we think we're going to do something and we totally forget. So that's how we're going to do it. So, Adele, you've just completed the Tokyo Marathon. And if you're watching this listen to this as a podcast, she's donning her medal and she's got what I was never brought back, Toby from Tokyo, one of the old body robe things that they give you when you cross the line. Yeah, they're amazing.
I thought it was curtains.
No, I got in Toby's, but then he took it off me. So that's one of the only reasons why I want to do the Tokyo Marathon, is just to get one of them. So Adele, talk us through, right? Firstly, your running journey. How did you get into running? What made you start running? Not Tokyo, before Tokyo, pre-Tokyo.
So I've been a runner probably since about 2016, 2017, but I wasn't really into it properly. So I did London in 2018, the hottest one, and it was a killer. I found a friend in the pen, and we've been friends for life ever since. And she's actually why I'm a FORDY in the short way. Amazing. So she was also part of my hypnotherapy group, and they had a run for fun group. And in that hypnotherapy, I had some help with weight loss, with anxiety from a relationship that broke down. And that helped me find a bit of confidence in running again. So I'd been a FORDY lurker since 2019. I worked out the other day.
Wow.
It said I joined the group in 2019, but I didn't actually start getting involved with the group probably until August of last year.
Okay.
And what made me do so was Jojo and Sue Finn from London. They double tagged the coach I was working with at the time and FORDY Runs. And I said to my hypnotherapist, oh, those girls that they have real fun. I really want to have the confidence to be able to go and join a group. And she'd been trying to make me join volunteering groups for like greyhounds and like all sorts of animal rescue charities and stuff like that. And I was like, I really want to get back into my running again. I really want to enjoy it. So I've only actually been in a satellite group since August of last year.
And which group is that? Just
That's Medway.
So that's the Medway group, yeah?
With Evie and Magda, yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Two heroes as well.
They are indeed.
Give them a shout out. So that was you at the start. So I was with you on that 2018 London Marathon. It was like a war zone. And then through chance, let's say, you found 40 runs, and you got into the satellite groups. And if you know what one of our satellite groups are, we've got over 40 clubs locally across the UK, and that's growing literally week by week now. So get along to one of them if you can, and if there's not one near you yet and you want to start one, get in touch, or join the Global Run Crew, which is a twice weekly thing that goes out that mostly Magda is involved with as well. So get involved with that. All the information's on the 40 Runs website. So you started coming along to your satellite group.
Yeah, I could barely run a 5K.
Hero.
So a hero, a little known FORDY, Rachel Kemp. She come back for me that first run, and she encouraged me to the end. And they did the Medway crew special of all cheering me back in again, and just made me feel part of something. Just made me feel like I could possibly enjoy running again.
That's amazing.
And then it just kind of spiraled from there. It's just the Facebook group, and everyone's an enabler. Everyone encourages you to get involved with things, sign up for races, like put your name in for the Tokyo Marathon. You know,
I want because I want to come on.
That's a bit of a jump, that.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's just stop that for a second. Right, so we'll come on to that in just a minute, because I know exactly what you mean. And to be fair, I don't think it actually matters whether it's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or Messenger group, or whatever support network you then have within your sort of running community, friends, group, whatever. It is true that once you feel confident within that group, it then sort of spirals out of control, because a lot of runners, they're genuinely just missing that confidence. And as soon as you like flip the switch, you become almost just a completely different person, right?
Yeah, this happened to me. You know, I was on the fringe, and then I started going to Hartford, and then all of a sudden I'm talking to everybody, and then I get involved in this, and then I know everyone, and everyone knows me, and it just takes over your life.
Well, Adele, I think it's true to say it's taken over your life.
Definitely, but for the better. I think if anyone's seen pictures of me before I was a 40, you probably wouldn't recognise me. Is a very different person to now. I wouldn't be on the podcast, but before I joined 40, I would have said to you, absolutely not. I didn't have the confidence to speak in public, that alone on a podcast recording. So
no, that's just amazing. And again, that's the power. Not just to put 40 runs to myself. That's the power of running and the community aspect that you can find within running. And it doesn't matter whether it's we're your tribe, or I know where joggers is your tribe, or whatever it is, right? But you can find that through running, and that's where it's so powerful. I think if you can find that, and then you get that connection with, as you said, your friends for life, or and you make those connections with people, and we see it throughout the club and throughout the community. The friendships, relationships that get made,
babies,
it gets the world of right. So, cut back a step. So you then seeing all this stuff on Facebook within the messenger groups. What made you, for the life of me, I can't, why pick Tokyo?
Wow, I actually picked Tokyo and Berlin because they were roughly at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I kind of, in my mind, had Berlin as a more achievable option in terms of travel. And my luck with things wasn't very good until that point. So I kind of just didn't really think anything of it. I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound, I'll put my name in. There's no chance, basically. I just didn't believe that I was, I'd have any chance. I'd done the London Marathon ballot 14 times, so my luck wasn't, it wasn't it.
Okay, and when you went in for Tokyo, in terms of where was you at in your running? Was you doing half marathons? Where are you sort of in your sort of training or running, or was you just doing the social stuff at Medway, or where was
So
you at?
I was mainly doing the social stuff.
Hmm.
I'd done a couple of halves, jeffing it and supporting a friend.
Right.
So I've got a friend Joe who's become a FORDY now, and I've always been a massive back of the pack supporter. Being one myself and
Hmm.
seeing the confidence that it has brought out in some of my friends, I will go cheer them on. I will walk with them in half marathons, and we did the big half together. So I'd started building up my fitness again. And the FORDYs were doing all the medal handing out, so that made a huge difference. I knew they were going to be at the end. I met a FORDY halfway round on Tower Bridge. There's quite a powerful picture of us on Tower Bridge when Sarah Pointer helped one of my friends when she was struggling a little bit. But it's that community feeling. It was bringing me back to enjoying running again. But I wasn't marathon fit when I entered that ballot. I was, I didn't think I would get in it.
So had you a desire to go to Tokyo? Or were you like, have you been to Tokyo before? What you just thought, oh, sod it.
It was literally on a whim. It was literally the power of enabling, basically.
I got no chance. I'll just go in for it. And then you get the email to say, oh, by the way, you're in. What did you think?
Well, it's tiny. So where like London is all singing, all dancing, because I've seen other friends that have got in, Tokyo is tiny. The writing is like this big and it just said confirmed. And I literally was sort of blinking, thinking, what? And then I thought, oh, and then we won't say, what am I going to do now? Like, I've got to find money and I've got to train. Like, both of them are not something I have right now. I need to do something about this.
Yeah, because there is that expense. So did you use a tour company to help you book stuff, or did you just like go on booking.com and go, oh, that'll do me?
Well, I did in typical me style, kind of put it to the back of my mind for quite a while and just thought I'll deal with it when I have to. And then when the anxiety kicked in, because I caused my own anxiety, I realised most of the time, I went to see my friend who ran the London 2018 marathon with me and said, Joe, can you help me, please? I know you're into solo travelling. What should we do? We had a look together and we organised some BA flights and a BA package, got a hotel and a flight booked.
And off you went.
And yeah, that was the first stage done.
No looking back. It's mad, isn't it, Wilco? Just think about it.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah. I'll do that later.
Yeah. I'll just enter Tokyo Marathon and then start.
So when did you the logistics of the trip? You obviously have to Tokyo. You can't just rock up the day before. You got an 8 or 9 hour, 9 hour time difference or something like that. Isn't it? It's probably
13
longer.
hours.
13 hours.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of planning, and you can't just go the night before. So you had to think about where you were going to stay or what you were going to eat, because it is, so we've had Hayden on here before. He's done it, and he was explaining, wasn't he, what a different sort of culture and different life it is out there.
Well, I'd like to say that I went really prepared, and I did spend a good week or two beforehand trying to work out what activities I might want to do over there. But I had an athlete's plan that I couldn't try any food over there because I didn't want to ruin my marathon chances. So I'm not going to lie, I ate McDonald's every day.
Okay, well, whatever works for you, mate. Whatever works for you. Don't matter, does it? That's the thing. It's hard when you go, and so when you go literally, the other side of the world, pretty much. What are you meant to do? You know what I mean?
But it saved me a fortune, and I booked Benidorm on the way home because I had so much money left from my food.
Yeah,
we'll come on to that in a minute. We'll come on to Benidorm. Right, okay. So, in terms of your training, right? So you're Jeffer, run walk if you don't know what that is. You did what, 16-week plan for Tokyo?
Yeah, so it was 16 weeks.
Did you get that off just online, or did you go through like one of the runner apps, or?
I work loosely with a coach who does some Jeffing plans with me.
Good.
But the anxiety of the long runs was really getting to me. Okay. I was getting up on a Sunday morning and I was just feeling really poorly, really anxious, really stomach upset. I would spend the whole day feeling like that to the point where I wouldn't get out. And then I'd have to do it on the Monday because if I missed that run, then I would be behind in my training. And I think that's where a hero has come into this situation, where I think Mark Sloan's 250th park run, and I was talking about it, and I think this is where I first met Justin from Southend. And he said to me at some point after this, I don't mind helping you with one or two of the runs. And I sort of went, really? Like, you'd spend your own time running with somebody who probably runs, I don't know, twice as slow as you. And he said, yeah, I don't mind. So
it's amazing.
He volunteered just before Christmas to do, I think, a 14 miler with me. And then he realised that actually it was still going to be a thing. I was still going to feel anxious about most long runs, and that I kind of just needed someone to toodle alongside me, not necessarily to do anything other than just kind of make sure I was keeping the pace and make me feel less nervous. And it just turned into, I think it was 72 miles training in the end. So
wow,
we did a run together. We went to Sue and David sorted out the first time they organised a run in Epping Forest, and we went together. Yes, which I think was the first time we really met and had a chat, because we sort of, she's like, oh yeah, well, I've got my marathon training and all that. And I said, oh, which one are you doing? Thinking Brighton,
Stevenage.
Yeah, Stevenage. So Tokyo, like what? Tokyo, bloody hell, you know.
Oh, that's it. Well, Justin's a hero. Wilco, we've got to give some. Just come back to that, because so Justin's part of the club, the community. That is an incredible thing to do for somebody. And this, if I'm right, Wilco, correct me, is that the same Justin who in Paphos?
Yeah, Justin Heath. Yeah,
Justin Heath.
A lady was struggling to finish her marathon while we were cheering everybody on from the pub, you know, as we do, you know, keeping a low profile. And she was really struggling. And he and Julian, another Southender, they ran with her sort of like the last half mile to get her over the line. Just like that. Just come in. Let's go.
Angels in a 40 runs top they are. You deserve a lot more credit than you get, Julian, and obviously Justin as well. That's an amazing thing to hear, Adele, that Justin does that. And I'm taken aback, to be honest with you, that even goes on within the club, the community. It's so powerful. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And I think also I've shown him what back of the pack feels like as well. So I think he was pacing Magda at MK half. And I remember him saying to me in one of our long runs, I didn't realise what it was like at the back. Everyone's really supportive of each other. They cheer each other on. They have a chat. Or I knew I wasn't going to go as fast as some guy that was next to me, but I absolutely cheered him right to the end. I said, I don't want to see you now. I don't want to see you for dust. You get ahead of me and go and get your medal. And I think he saw a different side to it. Because I think when you're faster, you're more elbows, kind of just trying to get it done. And there isn't that. I'm not saying there's not stories. Everyone's got a story.
Sure.
But
no, I know what you're saying.
Back of the pack is quite powerful. So I think you see it from both angles there.
Yeah, we hear it obviously a lot. Marissa's on the pod more and more, and I just love having her on, because the perspective she gives from the back of the pack, so to speak. I'm just in awe. I'm just in awe of all of you who are out there doing your thing. I think it's brilliant. I just love it. I really do. I think it's fantastic.
I suppose that leads us on to the actual race itself, because we did hear when Hayden did it that about strict rules regarding water and people being swept up, particularly at the back.
So how did you find the race?
How did you cope with all that?
So that's what my anxieties were about, was the cutoff. Because having done a marathon before, I just was worried that I wouldn't be fast enough. But I thought all I can do is go and have the best time and give it my all. But actually in the race, the power of FORDYs come together. So just very briefly before we go to the race, when I was over there, I met 3 or 4 FORDYs I'd never met before. One guy who gave up his time to come and cheer us on the Sunday instead of touristing when he was away with work. Another guy who was out there with sports tours, and I met him for a coffee as well. And another guy that was on a Mount Fuji trip as well, all of which gave support, went to the expo with me to pick up my number. One of the guys' wives took a load of pictures for me. Some of the pictures that are on the Facebook group are the ones that Helen and Mark took. And Jack, who was the guy that was out there on business and gave up his day touristing to come cheer us on. he was at 31k. He was a godsend. And that was all through the power of FORDY. I didn't know these people. I didn't know I was going to meet these people. I went out there on my own, not knowing I was going to meet them at all. So
that's I'm speechless. That's unreal, isn't it, Wilco?
Yeah. Well,
you think about it all through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this. You've done this.
No, it's nothing to do with me. So I'm genuinely taken aback by that. Okay. So the race. Let's go on. The race. Yeah. So in terms of the anxieties around the sweep up and all that sort of stuff, I appreciate what you said about the anxiety. How did you find the race itself?
So again, the power of FORDY's kicked in on the day. Everyone was having fun in Paphos. So I had my usual support team partying and getting ready super early for their halves and their marathons respectively. So this is where Hayden stepped in and he was giving me a bit of a pep talk on the train, just making sure I was okay and my nerves were all right. And I had a text from Marissa and that. And then I got to the pen and some guy tapped me on the shoulder and he went, "Are you Adele?" And I had Delhi written across my top. And he said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you." I said, "Oh, no, I'm Adele." And he said, "One of my friends has told me to come and find you." And I think this was Nikki Brown. And he showed me his phone, and no word of a lie, I had Hayden Harbud on my Instagram talking to him. And this guy had Hayden Harbud on his phone. And he'd been talking to Hayden as well. So this guy, Andy, was in Chicago with the guys over there. And he's an Iron Man. He runs with an iron and an ironing board. And he's friends with a lot of FORDYs. He does a lot of work for mental health. And he just had a chat with me before we started, and that calmed my nerves. And the fact that we have mutual friends, and we've got even more mutual friends when I come home. Mark Sloan knows him. Like a lot of you, Broxbourne lot know him. It's mad, the power of FORDYs. And he said, "Can I run with you, love?" He said, I'm a bit worried about the cut-offs, just like you are. Have you got a plan?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got a plan." And he went, "Oh, I haven't." I was thinking, "Oh, okay." So we were jeffing 60-30, and I said to him, "Look, as long as you don't mind, if I'm feeling anxious that I'm going to miss the cut-off, that I go on ahead, because I'm not missing the cut-offs. And then if you're feeling well enough to go on ahead, don't let me hold you back." So we had this kind of agreement. And he kind of tooted along with me. So I taught him how to jeff, and I become an accidental pacer, basically.
She paced the Tokyo Marathon.
And then, to make it even more crazy, about sort of a third of the way in, this other guy come alongside us. His name's Craig. He's somebody that Magda worked with years ago. And I'd met him in the Wins 10K only the week before. And he said, "What are you guys doing?" I said, "Oh, we're jeffing." He said, You what? You're jeffing? So I taught them how to jeff. So I was sitting along with these two blokes. And then I totally turned around to them, Chris, and I went to them, "How many marathons have you both done, just out of interest?" One said 23 and the other one said something like 28. And I'm thinking, why am I taking this to?
That's brilliant. She's pacing the Tokyo Marathon.
It actually was.
I bet that's the least thing you expected.
It was mental. But I can understand the anxiety of the race, though, because as we were tootling round, there was coaches lined up along certain points, and there was big signs that said this road closes at a certain time. So the first 5k was 45 minutes, the second 5k was another 45 minutes, an hour and a half. We banked 15 minutes, but then when we got to the third cut-off, it went back to half an hour for a 5k. Now I can't do half an hour 5ks yet, so that 15 minutes I banked, I had to dip into straight away to use. So I then went back to no minutes banked by the time I got to the fourth cut-off. And it was constantly on your mind thinking, I've got the next one. And there was another one, I think the 5th or the 6th had another half hour 5k. So you were fine if you banked minutes and you just kept going at your pace. And as long as I had a steady pace and done everything I'd done in training, it was fine. But it was on your mind a lot of the time, and there were big coach loads, and I didn't believe there would be that many people that wouldn't make it, but sadly when we got to the last one, there was quite a lot of coach loads of people.
Amazing, isn't it? It's absolutely amazing. I've got a question for you. If you were Simon, how would you rate the course out of 10?
Oh, I don't know. I would say probably an 8.
Hi. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting because Hayden when I did his 6-star podcast again. If you want to listen back to that one, it's a great one where he goes through his 6-star triumph. I think he might have given it a 4.
Oh.
But you had a different experience. This is the thing. This is the great thing about it. You had a totally different experience.
Yeah, I think the Japanese were very quiet and very kind. They had spray cans of freeze for your muscles, and they were obsessed with it. They kept stopping and saying, "Do you want some?" which was really kind. They were obsessed with dogs. So they take their little designer dogs, and the dogs would be waving at you or trying to do you a high five or something, which was really cute. But you can see from my race photos, I loved it. I
Yeah.
enjoyed being an accidental pacer. I liked having company, and I liked the fact that they were all so kind. They were lovely. I
Yeah,
really
that's
liked
good.
it.
That's an amazing takeaway. So this is why I love having like you and people like you on to show that you shouldn't be put off because the classic I'm too slow.
Mm.
You know, you can go out to amazing places and do amazing things. Marissa's off to do the Great Wall of China marathon. But to go out there and do your own thing in your own way, you can have an amazing time. You don't be put off by these events thinking you are too slow or you're never going to get round and all this sort of stuff. And hopefully people like Adele, Marissa, you know, if you listen to those stories, can inspire you to get out your comfort zone and do it. It's incredibly powerful. Don't be put off by it. It really is. It really is an amazing thing. Now I've got another question for you because I've just seen the time.
Oh, we'll have to crack on.
What does somebody who has just completed the Tokyo Marathon do next?
Oh, now this is where you don't. My life is never planned very well. This year
Okay.
is crazy. So I'm doing London Marathon in a month's time.
Yeah.
That was my charity spot from COVID. So I was
Okay, we'll
committed to
allow you
that.
that. We'll let you off that one.
And then, well, when you put your name in 2 ballots, you get lucky twice. So I'm
You're
also
joking.
doing Berlin in
That was
September.
that was my final question was, did you get into Berlin? You're going to Berlin as well.
And worst thing is, so September, because of my lack of planning and my over enthusiasm, I've got Big Half, GNR, Copenhagen, and Berlin.
That's genius. I would say that's genius.
Brilliant.
So you've got let's just get that rewind a second. So you're doing 3 of the world majors of the 6 world majors in 1 year.
Yeah.
Hero. And then you're doing probably arguably 2 of the biggest half marathons around this year as well.
And Copenhagen. And the half at Copenhagen.
And throwing the Copenhagen. Oh, and Benidorm.
And Benidorm.
Oh my God, Adele.
I would absolutely say the reason why I do these things is I see things from a community and a friendship point of view. So I do all of my running because I get so much out of it friendship wise. I do more talking about running, more socializing about running than I actually do running. But I love it. I'm not very fast. I'd like to improve a little bit, but I have no ambitions to ever run a marathon. I always want to Jeff it. I'll Jeff it faster, but I don't have any ambitions to run a marathon. But what I get out of the community and what I get out of running, I can't measure in terms of how it's changed my life. So
it's incredible. It's
What I'd also say, Chris, is that not only does Adele take so much out of it, she puts so much into it as well.
correct.
Now, you may have one of these. One of these little potatoes. It is a little positive potato, which Adele gave to me when we did a 10K at Battersea Park a few weeks ago. And it just says, positive potato. I may be a tiny potato, but I believe in you. Go do your thing.
Incredible. I've got one.
She had a rucksack of these and she's
Why not?
giving
I've
them
got
out to all sorts of people. And it sits here next to my laptop every day. When I sit here, when I'm doing my work, I'm working from home. And it's a little reminder. And it's just such a nice thing. And it sums up somebody who is a brilliant FORDY, a great inspiration, lovely girl, and someone that I'm honoured to be a friend of.
I can't echo that more. I just think, honestly, I'm not blowing smoke up your bum. You're an inspiration, mate. Honestly, just sitting there listening to it, it's incredible. There's stuff in that, you know, that, as I said, anybody who struggles with anxiety thinks that they do their running, but they think they're too slow, you know, because they're walking, that's a problem, and all this sort of barriers that you load up in front of yourself to not be able to do certain things. Adele has just shown you how to basically take them all aside and go and do your thing. And that's why it's just such a pleasure to have spent 30 minutes with you and listening to your story. I am guarantee that people will listen to this and will book stuff up. This will genuinely change people's lives. Listen to this, Adele. So you should give yourself, not just because you've got the medal, but a huge pat on the back for the inspiration that you're giving out to people within our club and community. And hopefully this reaches beyond that and more people listen to your story and are inspired by it. You're an amazing woman, and I have been inspired by you this year to go out and do things, and it's just amazing. So thank you for being part of 40 Runs, for being basically what 40 Runs is all about. And this is you, people like you, is why I started this madness, and you captivate it so brilliantly. And if somebody asks me what 40 Runs is about, I'm just going to say, go speak to Adele. I think that's the best way. Don't you think, Wilco?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. She's just, it's what it's all about. And, you know, it doesn't matter what times and all that sort of thing. Yeah, you know, you could be somebody who runs a lot faster than Adele, but you can still be inspired by. You can still be inspired by the attitude and what she puts into it, what she puts in and takes out, and just, you know, it's great. And
brilliant.
I was out there in Paphos, and I spent a lot of the day thinking about, I wonder how she's getting on.
I
wonder how she's doing.
And I rang Hayden. I said, how's she getting? I rang Hayden. It's brilliant. Find out how you're getting on. So thank you is all I can say to you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving up your evening and talking to us.
And I'd like to just say thank you. I could not possibly name every single person that has made do what I've done, but I wasn't alone out in Tokyo. I would say hundreds of FORDYs like having my back. I had people in my Instagram helping me navigate my anxieties, getting on the trains and making the most of my holiday. I had people just having conversations and checking in on me. Like, the reason why I'm on this podcast and being able to pass on like what I've done is through a community of people. And the one person I cannot possibly go without mentioning is Marissa. It is a pay it forwards. Like, she took me under her wing, and she like basically emotionally coached me. I had Justin to do my training, and I had Marissa to do that sort of emotional support. So it is pay it forwards, and I now want to pay it forwards. I'm going cheer squadding in Edinburgh, and I'm cheer squadding in Manchester. Just everybody from the speedies right to the back of the packers, because that's what the community is about, just paying 100%. It forward.
100%. I couldn't echo that any further. So thank you for your time. Wilco, thank you very much as well.
Pleasure.
We shall see you all. We are live because they're listening to this on the 29th. So we are live. It's complicated.
It'll be summertime, won't it? It'll be
live. Marathons and all this sort of stuff. But we are definitely live when you're listening to this, watching this. We're definitely live next week. I've lost count. Adele, thank you very much. Wilco, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We shall see you all soon. I'm going to try and find the outro. Better not play the intro like I did last time. Oh, no, I've got it. Right. See you later, everybody. Bye, 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 bye.